What's good? Good morning. I did not intentionally take a break from uploading, but it's been almost 2 weeks since I've uploaded a real video. Honestly, it is, I believe, a side effect of me healing and progressing on my journey. A big thing I have needed to address in my own personal growth and development is anger, bitterness, resentment. Those are all sort of connected. And, I made videos in the past. If you look at my old library, the catalog of videos, I randomly would make one saying, I don't want to be this angry, part one, part two, part X, because I was just trying to unpack anger. And it wasn't intentional in that that's what I wanted to accomplish with this YouTube channel. It wasn't a primary objective, but maybe a secondary or tertiary objective was to help address my anger, because I wanted an outlet where I could vent, where I could let my frustrations just sort of flow, and where I could try to communicate and try to be seen. And over the last 5 years, I've made tremendous progress. I still get angry, don't get me wrong, I'm a human. But I have become so much better at being aware of when like an angry cycle or spiral starts, about being able to interrupt the thought patterns that try to emerge, that try to create the physiological response as well. So it's like the brain has a thought and then the body starts to respond. But if you can interrupt the thought and then interrupt the body, you can break sort of the spell. Anger is almost like a spell. It's crazy. And the more and more I get into the esoteric and the sort of spiritual nature of reality and these evil entities that we're facing, anger is an enemy of humanity. If you hold on to anger, nothing good happens. And I don't want to get into like the Jesus thing here, but I think Jesus changed the world in many ways. And his forgiveness, his message of forgiveness, it didn't just help the person who is seeking forgiveness, but also the person giving forgiveness. There's a two-party circumstance around forgiveness, and it can be psychologically and spiritually very freeing. It can help you deal with anger. And so for me, I haven't been angered about things, or when I do get angered about things over the last few weeks, I sort of just interrupt the cycle and redirect. That's basic CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or that's also like sort of a spiritual alchemy in a sense. Sort of identifying negative habits, negative patterns, interrupting them and redirecting them, reprogramming your brain, your psyche, your soul. And I'm always hesitant to like make these videos and these comments because I don't want to feel like I'm bragging or I'm boasting. And I don't at all want to seem like I'm an enlightened person that doesn't get angry anymore, because that's not true. I still very much do get angry. But the core of the message is how quickly you can address your anger and how you can redirect it. And so one quick example, or two quick examples, I guess we could give. I was watching a video, this YouTuber exposing, a conservative YouTuber, exposing what's going on in Minnesota with all this Somali fraud. And at first I was like, that's effing BS. I want to be angry. But then I was like, no, don't get angry, because A, it doesn't affect you directly too much. I mean, yeah, it's perpetuating a system, a very toxic, oppressive system, coercive system that tries to control more and more of our lives. But in the grand scheme of things, that one little facet of the overarching evil institution that we're facing, whatever it is, whether it be crony capitalism, whether it be fascism, whether it be fiat banking oppression, whatever it is. I don't want to let stuff that's way outside of my control frustrate me. I need to focus on what is in my control. And that's a big way that the social engineers program and manipulate the masses, is that they bombard us with emotional propaganda designed to put us in this outrage cycle and to create this feeling of helplessness. And when you embody that feeling of helplessness, it creates anxiety, anger, and stress, and it prevents you from really focusing on the present and focusing on what you can do to improve your situation. And as a byproduct of improving your situation, you will improve the planet. If you do your best to become your best version of yourself, you're going to help the planet. Learned helplessness, I believe, is what it's called. If you can program that across the population, people will not revolt. They will not resist. They will just stay in this zombified state of stress and terror and scarcity. You know, we talk about the scarcity mindset versus the abundance mindset. The planet, I've said this time and time again, has more than enough resources to take care of humanity at our current population level and at increased population levels. I am not so hubristic, if that's a word, to believe that I have the answer in terms of what the ultimate or optimal population for Spaceship Earth is, but it is definitely larger than where we are at right now. We do not have a resource problem. We have a resource allocation problem in the form of governments, elites, ruling classes trying to consolidate power and resources. So power and resources go hand in hand, because in a sense, power is a resource. You can look at power as systemic power, what government agencies have the ability to do, but then you can also look at power in terms of energy, and energy in terms of money, what you can do with money, power, energy, it's all interconnected. And resources. There's power in resources. Quite literally, having assets idling or active, that's power, that's money, that's resources, that's energy. The planet does not lack energy, it does not lack resources, it lacks sovereignty, and it lacks freedom for individuals to contribute to the planet in the best way that they are suited. We're being funneled into these civilizations, these cultish, the word culture, these cultish civilizations that are actually pretty fucking toxic. I would say the Western tradition has provided tremendous knowledge to the world, to the planet. The Western tradition of thought in philosophy, even some of the religious components, but also that's not to discount Eastern tradition as well. They both have offered so much to the planet. But, there's this expression, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what we should be doing right now, is looking at the past, looking at systems that have served humanity, and then looking at systems that have disrupted humanity and trying to eliminate the oppressive, disruptive systems, which are often man-made, things like central banks and governments and states and organizations and agencies and all these things, think tanks. We need to do what we can to get rid of that shit while focusing on the good shit. Like, the good shit would be technologies that make farming more productive, but not just productive, but also regenerative for the planet. So there are regenerative farming practices that we could be participating in instead of this massive industrial corporatized monocropping, and then also the genetic engineering we're doing to seeds. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, let's just sort of circle back to the video. Is what you can do is what you should be focusing on. Unplug from the outrage cycle and plug into yourself. That's what you should be doing. Kind of a random video, but I appreciate if you've watched any of it. Check out the shirts in the description below. I've got more shirts on the site now, and I've even got a really cool thing where you can pay extra. So pay $100 for a shirt. So you get the shirt, but then you also get a week camping pass at my property in Tennessee. I'll make a whole nother video on that later, kind of talking about that. But right now it's totally undeveloped. But if I can sell more shirts, long video, I apologize, I can invest in the property. That's what I can do. That's what I'm trying to do to fight the globalists. Anyways, much love. Thank you for watching.